There's such a beauty and a profound intimacy that exists when you allow yourself to really be involved and in love with one person, and you're committed to that one person.
Hi, welcome to Exchange. I'm Erica and this is my husband Ricky. We thank you so much for joining us again for another episode. This time we want to talk about 5 myths about marriage.
Right.
There's plenty more, but we're going to just talk about 5 of them.
The first myth, a healthy relationship is easy. Isn't it?
No, it's not.
You sure?
I'm positive. That's definitely a myth.
Oh, okay.
Definitely.
So why is it a myth?
Because you have to think of it that there's no relationship that's easy. There's no marriage, there's no partnership is easy. We mistake that for thinking, oh, if it's just going well, if there's no rifts and everything is just wonderful. But that's not true. I mean, you have to realize that a good, solid, lasting relationship, it's a lot of hard work.
That's true.
It's not easy. You have to work together. The work doesn't end when you get married or when you become partners or when you're in a relationship. If you want your relationship to grow and thrive, you have to work. You have to do the hard work. So it's not easy.
Yeah, I can see that. I definitely see that.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work to make a relationship work.
Definitely. I mean, you have to be nurturing and caring, and it's a lot, you know. It's so that's definitely a myth that it's easy. It's not. So myth number 2 is your love will automatically know. Well, your true love will automatically know what to say and do to make you happy. Ha ha ha. No, guys. No, everyone. No. They're not mind readers. Ricky cannot read my mind as much as I would hope. Right. As much as I would hope to think that because we truly love each other and he truly loves me, that he's just going to automatically know what to do and what I like. No.
I think only God can
definitely
fall into that category.
Definitely. We're not mind readers.
Right. We have to talk. Definitely. We have to communicate and share our feelings, share our needs and our wants.
Yes.
We have to talk about it.
I mean, we're not robots, or we're not, we have to realize that you have to talk about those things.
Right.
You have to know what each other's feelings are and moods are and, things that you want to do, you don't want to do. We have to discuss what's your favorite food. Like, I know your favorite food is steak. You know my favorite food is seafood. But we had to discuss those things. You didn't automatically just know that because we fell in love and we love one another. We had to talk about those things.
But it's so interesting how, disappointment and resentment can set in because we have this, this fantasy that because we love each other, that we just supposed to automatically just know, maybe because we, of course, when you're dating and stuff in the beginning, you might find out that you have some things in common and some common interests.
Right.
And that kind of sets up this expectation that, oh, this is just so wonderful. They know me. They know me. But then when you get into the marriage, you kind of realize, no, there's some things that I don't know. And there are some expectations that I didn't know. I didn't know you like that particular thing, or you need me to do this particular thing.
Right.
And because I don't do it, then all of a sudden you're pulling back and you're sad and you're disappointed. And I'm kind of like left with, what did I do? What's wrong?
And that's why you have to discuss it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not one another's mind readers.
Right.
You have to talk about those things so disappointment and resentment don't set in and it don't fester and then
Right.
become a seed that's planted and you don't know
Yeah.
what to do with it, or you just explode one
Mhm.
day.
And that's our responsibility, you know,
Definitely.
as adults.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we should do. We should take the responsibility of sharing our feelings and our emotions and our needs and our desires.
Definitely. I mean, you as a couple, as in a relationship, you're both responsible for listening to one
Mhm.
another, listening to your thoughts and concerns. So,
Yeah.
and your emotions. That's a role you both play.
Right.
Yeah. So what's another one there?
Another one?
Another myth.
Another myth is differences will ruin our marriage. Now, this is kind of interesting because we did do a episode
Complete episode on
where
it.
we were talking about
Mhm.
our differences and understanding them and really appreciating them
Right.
because they are necessary. They're good. They're not bad.
Definitely.
But once again, like we were talking about, a lot of times there's these expectations that are set when we're dating.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, of course, when you're dating, oftentimes in the beginning, you put in your best foot forward.
Mm-hmm.
Everything seemingly is going well and it's going smooth. And we're really into this person. And
Mm-hmm.
then all of a sudden, if you haven't discussed it prior, you haven't given yourself enough time and had those in-depth discussions like we have talked about, you can then find yourself getting married. And then all of a sudden, you start realizing we're clashing.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the same opinion about
Mhm.
everything. And these differences all of a sudden start coming up. And we start taking those things as if they're bad. And
Right.
they're not bad. And
They're not bad.
you made a statement about how different is just different. It's not necessarily bad. It's just
It's not
different.
good or bad.
Yeah.
It's just different.
Right.
And to be quite frank, I think we mentioned that in the video. I don't want to be with another Erica.
Right.
You probably don't want to be with another Ricky.
Right.
I mean, our differences are supposed to complement one another.
Right.
So the myth about being different and it's going to ruin your marriage or ruin your relationship, no, it's going to probably cultivate it and bring
Yeah.
it together, because now those differences can work together.
Mm-hmm.
Those things can grow. Those different perspectives and ideas,
Yeah.
It'll bring some excitement and some fun things so that your relationship is not just stagnant and
Right.
you're not just feeling comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, change is hard. Change is
Uncomfortable.
uncomfortable, but then you realize, oh wow, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, I like that. I like that different
Mm-hmm.
or being different in that way.
Yeah.
It's not something that is bad or good. It's just different.
Right.
And it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what's another one, baby?
All right.
Another myth. Myth number 4.
Yep. Myth number 4. This is, I think, a good one.
Definitely.
Marriage counseling should be the last resort. I will have to admit that I have often thought that. You know, you kind of get the mindset that you don't see a counselor or you don't seek advice from maybe a more experienced married couple or friend until you're like in trouble. But many times by doing that, it's sometimes you can put yourself in a situation where it might be too late in a sense,
Right.
because you caused more damage because you didn't seek wise counsel. And we should seek out counseling. It's helpful, and we should do it really as a preventive type thing. That's why
Right.
attending maybe your marriage ministry at your church, attending conferences and different things, reading books together.
Right.
All those things can help you and can serve as a form of counseling for your marriage so that it stays healthy.
Definitely. Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely a myth. Don't use counseling as your last resort.
Hmm.
Now, of course, the Bible talks about seeking wise counsel.
Right.
You don't want to talk to any old person, anybody, you know, just flippantly about
Hmm.
the things you're experiencing in your marriage or your relationship.
Right.
You first have to be wise
Hmm.
and you have to seek wise counsel. And it may be your pastors, it may be a close friend of yours, it
Yeah.
may be your parents, it may be your brother or sister,
Hmm.
but make sure that it's wise counsel.
And I'll just say, to the guys, I know for us, oftentimes we hate the idea of getting counseling. I mean, we really do. Um, our marriage could be right at the brink of divorce, and we're kind of like, I don't want to go to counseling.
Wow.
I don't want to talk to a pastor or some counselor.
Mhm.
We just tend to shy away from it. But guys, it's okay. We have to be humble and we have to submit. If we want this relationship to really work, we have to submit and allow ourselves to submit to that counseling, go into it with an open heart and open mind, with the
Mhm.
mindset that I want to make my relationship better. I want my marriage to survive. I want it to be better.
Yes.
And so we have to not have that mindset that I don't want to listen to nobody else. I don't,
Pride.
yeah, pride, exactly. We have to let that pride go and humble ourselves and submit and listen.
Mhm.
It may bother you, it may
Mhm.
get under your skin,
Mhm.
but listen and really ponder and allow that counseling to to work in you. Allow it to work and allow you to get better.
Right.
Don't take it as um, just criticism
Mhm.
and not putting it to heart, taking it to heart and putting it into action. It's gonna be okay. Just
Mhm.
it's let your pride down and submit.
That's good, baby.
Hmm.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Number 5 myth is monogamy means boring sex. Hmm. Of course, everyone knows if you don't what monogamy means, it's being with one partner,
Right,
one person, one spouse, one partner, and you share
right,
your sexual intimacy with that one person.
yeah,
There's a quote that says the sexual excitement in a long-term relationship is not the same intense lust that takes over when you first meet someone, but it's a deeper exhilaration that develops from knowing someone intimately and profoundly.
hmm, yeah. That's true. And I think this one
Mhm.
really hits home.
Mhm.
Being a man, I know that for some men,
Mhm.
because of maybe their lifestyle prior to maybe coming to Christ, or you may be in it. You may be a single person and you're kind of like, you're kind of out there a little bit. Um, this one can be quite challenging because there is this myth that exists that if I get married, you mean I only can have sex with one person?
Yes.
And that, when you first think about it like that, it's kind of like, that does kind of sound boring
Mhm.
because we have developed our appetite for multiple women. We have been conditioned by our culture. Um, and so we really buy into this idea
Mhm.
that that's what I'm supposed to do. We hear the old statement of I gotta sow my wild oats,
Right.
you know,
Right.
and we buy into that. And that's how we think we're supposed to live. And for some of us, we have been living that way. And now
Mhm.
we come to Christ and now maybe we
Mhm.
found that special person that we want to marry.
Right.
And now we're at this situation where we gotta break that. You
Right.
have to change your mindset. You have to be transformed
Definitely.
in your thinking
Right.
that just because I'm going to be with one person, that all of a sudden sex is going to be
Boring.
boring and
Right.
uninteresting because I'm with the same person all the time. But just like the quote said, there's there's such a beauty and a profound intimacy that exists when you allow yourself to really be involved and in love with one person, and you committed to that one person. That you just discover, it's just a beautiful thing just to discover more and more about that person. And that even expands not only just in terms of understanding them, emotionally and their thoughts, but sexually exploring, understanding their body, understanding things that they like and they enjoy. It really is rewarding and a lot of fun.
And you mentioned, of course, about the men and the guys, but there's women too.
Oh,
so I mean, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
It's not just, sure, we're in our culture and society, we seem to always go to, men are the players, but there's women out there
yeah,
that are as much players as men. So just knowing that monogamy in a relationship is a beautiful thing. It doesn't make your sex life boring. It actually makes it more, it's special.
Yeah.
It's more intimate. It's right. You think about when you're having those multiple sexual experiences with different partners, or you definitely shouldn't do it if you're married, because then that's a whole nother conversation. Now you're being unfaithful, cheating, all that. You shouldn't do it, period, because it's the same. You're still being unfaithful, cheating, etc. But you think about it, what that's doing to your psyche. And I think we talked about that. Those multiple partners, those multiple experiences, that it's really messing you up.
Yeah.
It's really taking what's supposed to be beautiful and just between you and that person. It's taking that and downplaying it. It's watering it down. It's making it where, wow, you can't enjoy the beauty of being monogamous because you're with too many people. But that's, God wants it to be just you and your spouse.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. So that's definitely a lie.
Yeah.
And that myth is a lie.
Yeah.
And we hope that it's not where you are.
Yeah.
Because you can change that. It's not a point of being where it's not enjoyable. It is enjoyable because you're learning the person.
Right. And I'll say that truthfully, when you've been married for a while, your passion level sometimes can change. Life happens.
Right.
You can have scheduling conflicts. We all live busy lives.
Right.
And those things can impact our desire sometimes for sex. And sometimes it can make us feel unsatisfied. But we need to talk about those things.
Right.
And we need to understand that that doesn't necessarily mean that there's a major problem.
Exactly.
The problem may be that you guys need to talk. You really need to have those intimate conversations and discuss it. And, as a husband, I believe that if you have a godly wife, a wife that truly desires to be pleasing to God, because they want to please God, they're going to want to please you. And if you come with the right, tone and everything, that you can have that discussion and you could explain to your wife, I'm desiring this. And you have those discussions. Like I said, hopefully we've had these discussions prior to getting married, so that it, we kind of can work these things out prior.
Right.
But sometimes, things happen. We change.
Right.
We get older and we change.
Definitely.
But we have to always keep that channel of communication open so we can talk and try to resolve those particular issues. But the myth that it has to be boring
Right.
that's not true. It doesn't have to be boring. Sex can actually get better
Definitely.
over time because of
Yes.
the intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
It can just get better, and the passion doesn't have to die.
Mm-hmm.
You might have to rekindle it, but it doesn't have to die.
Right. Doesn't have to fade away. You
Mhm.
don't have to, just get to the point where you're like, oh, this is where we are.
Right.
We've been married 20 years and sex life is just boring. And I've been with this one person
Mhm.
and they're boring. Well, what have you been doing along the way?
Mhm.
As you mentioned, what have you been talking about? Sure, life happens. Physics, physiological
Mhm.
changes, life is going to
Right.
happen. It's just a part of life. But there's ways that you and your spouse and you and your partner can talk about these
Yeah.
things. I mean, just because you're 80 years old doesn't mean your sex life is over.
Right.
I mean, you just have to find a way that works for you and your spouse to be intimate.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a part of the beauty of the relationship and the beauty of being open and being honest with one another.
Yeah.
It don't make excuses, and it's definitely not a reason
Yeah.
to step out. It's not a reason to cheat. It's not a reason to be unfaithful.
Mhm.
It's not a reason to ever be unfaithful
Right.
and not loyal to your spouse.
That is
That's
so
never
true.
a reason.
Right.
People think it is, but I'm sorry, y'all. It's never a reason. That's a whole different episode, but I just hate cheating and dishonesty and all of that.
Yeah.
It's just like, ew.
Yeah. That's true.
That's
true.
So
So, guys, we thank you so much for viewing. We just wanted to share that with you.
yeah.
We just, like I said, we just picked 5.
Mhm.
There are so many other myths that we may eventually do another episode where we discuss some different ones, but those were 5 that we just wanted to have a discussion about and share. But we thank you so much for watching our exchange.
Yes.
And we just ask once again that you will like. If this video was the one that you enjoyed, please like, leave us a comment. Also remember to please subscribe to our channel. We thank you so much for your support. We say God bless,
God bless.
and we will see you next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.